Hello everybody, I'm Playcon, here again with Matty Violence. We're doing another review tonight. We're doing A View to a Kill. That's the one that we picked. Well, not picked, randomized. We will see. I'll put it up on the screen too, about the randomization on it. But we're also going to be flipping a coin for Timothy Dalton's, because we have...
There's two of those.
There's only two of them, so we figured this is going to be the easiest way. So, I'll let you choose. What do you want heads to be? Either Living Daylights or License to Kill?
Heads could be Living Daylights.
Okay. And then tail will be License to Kill. Go ahead and flip. So I'm not very good at flipping on camera.
Okay, I'm not going to... Well, here's the thing. I don't want to flip it like that because you can always fake it that way.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, here, I'm going to show you. So, like, I would say tails, right? Oh, it didn't work the time. Because I'm trying to... Look, so it's heads, right? Mm-hmm. Usually, if you flip it, it's not working, fucking Christ. There used to be a trick, like the opposite side of the coin, if you did it that way, would always usually land, you know, to where if you did it, you'd get the opposite. So if it was on heads,
okay.
say tails. It's not working though. So I just want to do it random.
Alright.
So, I mean, they're not going to see it though, unless you want to move the camera. Usually you should call it, because
Alright,
I'm flipping, so.
Heads.
It's on heads.
It's on heads, everybody.
Speaking, I mean, like, that opening for this one was a shock to me, kind of, because I don't remember ever hearing that.
So, next review is going to be The Living Daylights. Dr. No should still be coming up. I do apologize if you're seeing this after this fact. Obviously, it's up. Yeah, MGM has been blocking the clips that I used.
We got one clip banned for just 2 seconds of Pan Am.
Yes.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
Are you going to block us if I say it?
But, yeah, weird, I guess.
Monap.
Gotta figure out.
Monap.
Even though I guess it's still considered fair use, but apparently they still want to block anyway, but whatever. Anywho. So A View to a Kill. Obviously, the opener for that is, again, your favorite thing that you get to see him on is skis.
Dude, he loses his ski every time. It's like he doesn't know how to, like, ski. And it gets shot off every time.
Yep.
You know? Like...
But he did manage to get to a snowmobile that time.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds. For like 2 seconds.
It blew up.
The best part, though, was that, like, I seriously thought you were joking. You're like, oh, here comes the Surf's Up USA part. I was like, sure enough, then they start playing that song, and he's doing all these tricks on, like, from a broken part of a crashed helicopter.
A snowmobile.
Was it a snowmobile? I thought it was a crashed helicopter at that point.
It was the snowmobile. And
he's doing, like, these tricks, like, half-pipe tricks and stuff, and it's just like, oh, God. And then I knew I was in for a wild ride from there.
And what did you think about the submarine that he found?
First of all, it looks so fake. As far as, like, the rocks, like, I don't know. I guess if you're in that climate, you're not going to notice it, per se.
Right.
But, like, the flag pops up, and it's just a British flag. Like, British flag. Like, you guys are supposed to be spies. First of all, if you do get caught, people aren't supposed to know where you're from, because, you know, they can cause wars. But you see the British flag pop up for all the Russians to see. And then he gets in this submarine, and there's a chick in there that doesn't matter at all. She's, like, not in the rest of the movie at all.
I mean, unless it was I don't think it was, but later on down the road, that one chick that you were asking about in the hot tub.
Maybe it was. No, because she was trying to seduce him. She was like...
Yeah, that's true.
They were on the same side. She was like... She was also British because she was...
No, she was... Oh, the one in the sub was British. Yeah, I got you.
And then you have, like, this... He's got, like... This is something Austin Powers would have had. He's got these, like, benches. They come up a little bit higher, moving closer. And then a mattress in the center comes up, so it makes, like, this giant bed in there. I'm just like... Who needs that in their submarine? A shag pad in the submarine. It's a shag marine, man.
And then, of course, then you have the intro song right after that.
Then the intro song comes, and it's Duran Duran, which is great. I didn't know it was Duran Duran.
Took you a couple tries.
It took me. Yeah, it did, because you mentioned Ryo. For some reason, I thought Ryo was Depeche Mode. I don't know why. It's not even close to even sounding like something Depeche Mode would write. Yeah, so is Duran Duran. You gave me that. Are you hungry like the wolf or something? It's like, oh.
We also have a fellow guest here. He's sleeping. His name's Salem.
He's deaf. I don't know though.
But yeah. So after that, we kind of get introduced to. Is it right after we get introduced to Zorin, or no? It was the horses stables, right? The horses.
It shows him going to find the horses stables, and he's like, "Oh, those must be the horses stables." And the
stables, the horse race.
Yeah, but he's trying to find the stables. Wait, I thought it was an auction.
No, that was when he got there.
That was okay. All right.
This was still in the beginning when he's talking to M, and then the.
Okay, yeah, because Moneypenny and M, or Moneypenny and Q, and him are at the races.
Yes.
They go to the races, which I thought was funny. I was like, they all gamble together, like, and Moneypenny gets kind of angry, and I've never seen that side of her. She gets like pissed off at one of the horses or something like that because like it lost. She gets like, yeah.
Yeah, of course you have where they still go into M's office, of course, and then after that cut to the horse race.
I did like that. He tried to. I didn't catch him do the hat scene with his own hat. Did he?
I don't know if he did.
Because he tries to do it with money pennies. It's just like takes the hat away from like. It's great. But yeah, they're in the office. They're talking about, Zorin and his evil deeds and how he's like.
Well, because Zorin's name was on the microchip and on the other microchip they found.
But they pretty much kind of already know his plans for some things.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, "Oh, we gotta send Bond because apparently he's the only spy there." Like everybody else always dies. So they're just like, "Send Bond. He somehow always survives."
Well, yeah, because at first it was just about like him like what is it, doing horse races?
Like
kind of rigging horse races.
Yeah, it seemed like just a normal.
Yeah, it was just all that.
They thought it was like steroids, and then
Right.
So and then you get this weird because now we're getting to him. We're getting to him trying to figure out, what the fuck's going on with Max Zorin, and mind you, I still think Max Shrek. I think he went on at the end of it. I think
You think he survived?
I think he survived. He's Max Shrek in Batman Returns because he's the same kind of. I know it's Christopher Walken, but he does play like Christopher Walken still has characters.
Right.
He still kind of plays like he plays Max Shrek off like Max Zorin. And that might have been why Tim Burton's like, yeah, maybe you should play this villain too.
And his henchwoman Mayday.
His henchwoman Mayday, which was a badass, should have been the Bond girl. Because she was just a complete badass. She was actually the actress we found out from Conan the Barbarian, which is really cool. I don't know if I've seen her in anything else. I'd have to go check that. But she's kind of like the villain version of chick with katana in Walking Dead. She's got
I haven't got that far in Walking Dead.
Dude, they show her on it. She has her own game, Michonne.
Oh, okay.
She's like the samurai. She's also in Black Panther.
Okay.
She's that kind of badass. She's just like basically Zorin's kind of the pansy, and she's just like she's got to do everything because she's a badass.
Yeah. So they go to might be skipping ahead a little bit. We did watch it yesterday. So
no, because he's trying to talk to the chick on the bridge. I think at this point. And that's when
the Eiffel Tower scene.
Yeah, he's like, get her away.
No. That's at his actual place, at Zorin's place. We still haven't got to Zorin's place yet after the horse race. After the horse race, it was going to talk to somebody at the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
And the soup scene when you thought he said something about something.
Which reminded me of the Monarch because like
a fly in a soup.
Yeah, but John's dad, he's like, there was a fly in his soup. Like, what the fuck, man? And it's because this like lady's like dancing with these fake butterflies, and then some dude like in the rafters has his own fake butterfly thing, which completely. It was Mayday. That's right. It was Mayday. Completely different
yep.
Like look of butterfly. You could have at least tried to match it. And it's just like because that lady's danced like that before. Obviously, it's a routine.
Right.
She's gonna be like, I don't know, that one's fucking new. Like that's her shit. So like you have this like it's like a yellow and black one, which reminds me of like something the Monarch would pull up. and it smacks the dude Bond's eating. He's talking to him about the steroids, and this fucking fake butterfly just smacks into his face, and he just drops into his soup or some shit. And it's like everybody freaks out. James Bond gets up. There was a fly in his soup. Wipes his mouth and like leaves. It goes after Mayday. Yeah, but it was just the delivery in that was good.
And then she jumps off the Eiffel Tower, and he gets into a car. What do you think about the car chase when it starts to?
Dude, that was such a cheesy like '80s thing. He runs, and he had to have done that stunt.
Not all of it. You can actually tell that.
That was a good cut then, because like I couldn't see like the fucking. I mean, like, so he goes, he like it's under like a barricade or something, right? And it takes off the top of that. So he's got a convertible now, which has actually been used in other things, so it's kind of funny. And then he gets rear-ended by another car, and it like rips the whole the back half of the car off. And he's still kind of driving a little bit with it, like, okay.
And then he jumps off the bridge where she lands on the boat. And then you said that was funny because he kind of got the ouch part because he actually went through the roof, landed on the cake, and said congratulations with the cake.
Congratulations, your wedding cake. That was great. See, I don't understand why you thought this was bad. Like, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I really did. So like, and I've seen that boat and other things too. So I'm surprised it's that old of a boat.
No, the Zorin boat that Zorin gets in.
Or no, the one that the wedding's happening.
Oh, okay.
Like I've seen that in something else. So yeah, like then you know.
That's pretty much where they find to go to Zorin's house with his other colleague dressed as his chauffeur. Yeah,
and he kind of treats him like shit too. Like another good comical thing with Bond in this is when he's carrying the bags into the room and he's got like all these fucking bags, and Bond's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna help you unpack," and he just takes the umbrella out and just walks away like, "Damn," or "I'm gonna help you out." And it was just like, okay. And then he jokes with him outside about that. He's like, "Well, I got to make it look legit."
Right.
So now we're getting into the part where
we meet the actual Bond girl on the bridge.
But she's not.
He tries to seduce her, but it doesn't work very well.
No, was that when you meet the mom from that '70s show?
Yes.
By the way, Midge from that '70s show, which also I didn't know was Charlie's Angel.
I'm trying to think. Well, before that, now that I remember, we get your fun little crossover that you.
Oh yeah. So there was a weird part where he's trying to like sneak into the stables.
It wasn't Bond. It was Bond's chauffeur guy.
So like
his name. Sorry.
As he's trying to sneak in, you see, and there's a doctor. You've already seen him before, so you've seen his face.
Not completely.
Well, I mean, like, but this one, like, there's two people that leave the stables like real quickly. Like something's up. Like they're not supposed to be there. And you don't see either of their faces, but it looks like Doc Brown and like Marty McFly are walking away from the stables. They wouldn't be back in time at that point, though, unless they'd come back from,
Right.
So it was kind of weird. Like I think it's like a little cameo. I know it's not real, but it was kind of cool to see because it looks like Marty McFly's jacket, like it really does, and then the coat kind of makes it look like Doc Brown.
Yeah. Then you see, because you do see. I know that you do see the Bond girl, but he doesn't go to her yet because he gets his glasses and follows them.
Oh, the weird glasses where he goes like this? And
it's the X-ray specs to see what they're doing.
Is this the same time he has that weird... No, he doesn't have the camera ring yet.
No, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, he still has the camera ring.
Because is this where he's taking pictures of it? It's very obvious that it's like...
Yeah.
Like, why would you give it a flash?
And I think this is when he tries to pick up the girl, if I'm not mistaken.
He's not trying to pick her up, though, because he sees her with Zorin.
Right, yeah.
So he's trying to figure out who she is and what's going on.
But he goes about it like he's trying to do his normal Bond thing about finding out information.
So then Mayday, like Zorin looks and sees them talking.
Yep.
And it's like he tells Mayday, he's like, get him away from her, or get her away from him. So that's when Mayday comes down and they like kind of give Bond the heave ho there,
right,
and take her away from him.
And then you kind of laughed at that because he's like, oh, if if you're not letting, like...
Oh yeah, there's... Okay, because, yeah, it's like...
After that.
Well, you know, something, yeah. I was hoping she could take care of something.
Take care of me.
Take care of me. And, Mayday is like, I'll see to it that somebody takes care of you personally. And that plays back, which is kind of fucked up, actually, later on. So now we're at the part where...
Especially, like, we're pretty much almost there to where Bond realizes, finds the stables with the one guy, like, him and the chauffeur guy.
Yeah, they find that secret compartment at this point.
Yeah,
right?
but before that, they placed that tape recorder on where the bug is. You said that was an awful place to...
Oh, the bug was just like on top of the lamp. Like, it's just there invisible. At least spray paint it to look like the other parts of the... You know? Like...
Yeah,
it's like a red... It looks like a bug. But it's not like... I mean, like, it looks like a mechanical. Like, you can see...
Right.
That it's clearly a listening device. And you're like... They didn't even need that fucking wand. I know the wand helped them find it. But if they had looked, they would have found that. It's not... You know, it's not like other spy movies, like in True Lies, they take a phone apart and put the bug inside the phone and put it back together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like that at all. It's just sitting on top of the lamp, like, yeah, we're listening to you. So he takes a tape recorder of him snoring and he lays it down. They get down into that compartment. They almost get caught.
Well, yeah, because they did get kind of caught by the henchmen.
Yeah, but I mean, like, nobody identified them. Mayday thought. Because Mayday was like, that's the guy from the Eiffel Tower. It's Bond. And then, like, Max Zorin's, like, they're, like, going to his room and shit.
Yep, and he's not there.
And he's not there, but then they close the door, and he says something to Mayday. And like, Zorin just backs up, like, because Zorin didn't see him not there.
Right.
Only Mayday saw it. Because she's like, he's not here. And then it showed, like, you heard him in bed.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, Mayday. Or he doesn't call her Mayday. I don't think. He just says, I thought you were going to see to me personally. Like, oh, you're here to see to me personally.
He's in her bed, yeah.
Oh, he was in her bed because she was going to her room. That's right. Okay. That was what the transition was. They were in the room, found the bug. He wasn't there. She goes to her room. He's there. Max Zorin just kind of, doesn't do anything. Just pretty much, like, go banging. So she does, and she looks really, like, kind of upset about it, which is kind of a fucked up thing, you know, like...
Well, she loves Zorin, I guess.
Well, I get that, but it was just, like, it felt, like, uncomfortable, like, that little small scene there. And, so, like, he almost gets caught and then somehow gets away with it. Well,
he does get caught, because you have...
Yeah, but he figures out a way to not, like...
Get caught at that point.
Yeah.
Because then you have, Zorin calling him to his room. Of course, this is after he finds the check that Zorin used to pay off the that 70 mom.
Yeah, Mitch.
The $5 million to pay her off.
Oh yeah, because she didn't want anything to do with it, but it was kind of
right. It was for because it was for something to buy. I guess the land. Of course, we get onto that later on.
So.
And then, of course, she leaves, and then he has Bond come into his little area, and then he has that camera behind his mirror, which is like, you were saying the whole time, is like, why not just have cameras everywhere?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, because he's, like, taking facial recognition, yep. So you would obviously have more cameras. I mean, like, why would you not? Like, everybody you don't trust, you're going to invite into your office and then catch them? Like, that's not how that works. So he's talking about buying the horses.
Yeah, about the purebred while he's, like, getting information.
And then Bond kind of, I guess, feels that he knows he's been had a little bit. So he asks about the steroids like a customer would, but kind of like, I fucking know, man. He's like, well, right. I heard about, what's this about steroids I hear? Or something?
Yeah, because this is obviously after Bond and the guy finds the... Like, whatever.
They found the steroids, basically.
The steroid type thing that he uses and then puts on the horse and then the other end to activate it on the cane.
It's like an adrenaline, like, it pulses adrenaline into the which actually kind of shows that they use it later. They use it on themselves, basically.
Yeah, so Zorin found out who Bond was because they noticed that one of the vials...
Another fucking reference to Batman, man. He's creating the Venom. That's exactly what it is, man. Fucking hand thing that makes it like it's venom. See, he is Max Shrek. Because guess what Max Shrek runs and owns? Fucking chemicals.
Yeah.
It's totally Max Zorin is Max Shrek. There's clear proof of that now.
But so they noticed one of the vials was misplaced from the doc. The doctor noticed that it was misplaced. That's why he asked Bond to come into his office and get the information. So as that's going on, Bond, like you said, Bond realized that he's kind of been had. So Max tells him, "Let's go race."
Yeah, let's
train.
Yes, let me start training you on how to handle the horses.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, I have a riding session at 1. Meet me there. You know, he's just like, so he says something weird like, "Don't be late. Just like take your time" or some shit. Like some weird, like what? And
obviously, it's a setup for.
I know, yeah. So they get down there and they have this like wild horse that hasn't been broken in, and that's what they make Bond ride.
Yeah, that's been injected with the.
Yeah, so it's a wild horse that's already been injected with this shit, so it's going fucking apeshit.
Yep.
But somehow Bond is able to control it during the race. But he pretty much makes a deal with him. He like offers him. He's like, if you don't fall off, I'll sell you the horse or whatever. Or it's something like it's like that back and forth that they know. By the way, serious, Zorin is now my favorite Bond villain.
And before that, you have the chauffeur. I forgot to mention this. This is like around the time that since he's been made out, the chauffeur is going to get the car wash to actually call MI6 to tell him what's happening.
And he gets assassinated by
Mayday. And then, of course, during the horse race, Bond almost loses control because that's when Zorin activates the
and it starts like jerking around more. But he's also hitting these like obstacles that are extending like the lake, and like he's very legit. Like he's gonna win this. He's Bond's proving him wrong. Like Bond's just doing what he's supposed to do. So Zorin knows he can't beat he can't beat Bond at this, obviously.
Yeah, and once he hit that, it went over the way, and then he managed to still control it to go over to the Rolls Royce because you see the Rolls Royce coming
which
by.
he jumps onto,
and it turns out that Mayday's driving it.
Yeah, because he's like pulling in. He's like, "Stop the car!" And she does, and he looks in the window, and it's.
Well, he said keep going.
Keep going.
To, get away, go to a chase scene, and then she just stops because Zorin's right behind him.
Yeah. Now Bond always gets captured. Worst spy ever.
Yeah, he gets knocked out in the Rolls Royce. Obviously, the chauffeur guy, I forgot his name. Sorry, was already dead. Bond gets knocked out. They take it to a lake, and then they run.
They push it in like they try to kill Bond.
And then the way that. It's funny though about how it was going down. It's not.
Oh yeah, like it goes down, and you can see like the bubble. You can see like underwater. There's some sort of like area that doesn't have bubbles, but the bubbles are going in a circle like something underwater is moving. So like I guess to do this, they probably had some sort of turntable underneath the water because I'm sure that was done on like a set,
probably,
or a soundstage.
Because then it obviously kind of flipped.
Well, you're also not going to actually sink a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Like then you would just be stupid to do that. So. I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't a real one at this time, but they run it into the water. It hits this, like, you see it kind of spin around, and then it flips over and sinks. Like, I've never, like, cars just go in. They don't like, go in, turn in the water, and then, like, flip over. Like, that's not how a car sinks. And I just thought that was hilarious. This is, like, so, once again, this movie is, like, way over the top with shit. It's fucking fantastic.
Well, and that's how Bond, like, they think Bond's dead because of, him staying under because of him using the tire for
this is kind of cool, but I don't think it's possible. Cuz it's air, but I don't think it's like it's not oxygen anymore. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know how that works with car tires and stuff. I don't know if it like turns or I don't know if you can use it as a breathing apparatus, but he does. He pops the tire and starts sucking out the air, which is kind of cool. I've never seen that before. And he survives and they leave, which okay, Bond's the worst spy, and his villains are always dumb as shit. They're intelligent, but they're dumb as shit. Like, they don't have common sense.
Well, it's funny. You also said that this must have been done in one take because of the car almost flipping, the getaway car.
Oh yeah. Like, I was like, okay, that was crazy because it like hits this curb by like it looks like they swerved by accident and hit the curb and like almost. I was like, what? Okay, dude, that's obviously not something you would do. on purpose. Even if you're like turning around to get away, they weren't turning. They were just like, I don't know. It looked bad, but this movie's like straight up 80s cheese. I love it.
So then we kind of get to Bond going to City Hall in California, or San Diego, California, where
we're in San Francisco, man.
San Francisco. Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Because which is weird. I'm surprised it didn't have like a huge ending at Alcatraz.
So, but he goes to San Francisco, the City Hall place, and trying to get information on, like, I guess Zorin's like building thing to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
But he finds out that that's where the chick is.
That
70s lady is.
Which, my God, man, she still looks great. I didn't know she was in her 60s when she was in that 70s shit, basically. Like, she's like, what now?
She's like 6.
Oh, she's in her 60s now?
I think.
But she still looks great.
Let me pull it up real quick.
And everybody knows which mom it is, because nobody was like, oh, man, Foreman's mom's hot.
She played in Charlie's Angels, too.
We said that, the original show, yeah. Was she one of the angels, though?
Yes.
Okay. So she wasn't Farrah Fawcett or whatever, she was the other one. The other blonde one.
Mm-hmm. 64.
Yeah. I mean, she looks great. And And
this is when Bond follows her to her house.
Yeah. And then we get like this cool shootout with a shotgun that looks pretty brutal, like some of the like when they're taking the bumps from the rock. Turns out it's rock salt.
Yep.
So you find out that
pretty much scares him away, and that was just Max Zorin's goons trying to scare her into buying.
Yeah, or
to sign the check so she can sell.
Yeah. So they try to scare her into selling the property. Of course, Bond saves the fucking day.
And so with that, they go back to City Hall to find out more information on what's going on with Zorin. At this time, Zorin knows that they've been there somehow. I guess because
you can look up the records of somebody. You have to like check. Like if you're looking at blueprints or something like that, you have to like check them out. You can't just like look at them.
Okay, yeah.
I think you have to actually check them out because it's...
Yeah, because Zorin, I guess, is actually there now either for her, but turns out that Bond's there, both of them, and they run into each other.
Yeah.
And then he's, like, telling the guy, the manager guy, to call the cops. And he does call the cops. And then he's like, but obviously this is when he shoots the guy because in order for it to work... Like, he would have to be dead. So he's like, yes, you're right, Zorin.
Oh, yeah.
And then sets everything. And then sets everything ablaze.
I can't do Christopher Walken like at will like I wish I could.
So
cowbell. So like
that was another point in time.
Is this where we get to the elevator shootout?
Yes.
Okay.
Where you're like, yeah, he seems like a dick.
Yeah, because he just like the fucking elevator is all fucked over. That's not the elevator. Is this? Are they back at the Eiffel Tower? No, because I thought they were
City Hall.
They're okay. So they're in the elevator for City Hall.
Yeah, this is when it's set on fire.
I can't imagine City Hall being that big to where it would matter, but like 2 stories, like. But they're on the elevator, and it looks like way bigger in this scene. He kills the dude. He gets up there. He, like, runs up, then he kind of just leaves her hanging and closes the door back. Like, why would you do that? What? You're just being... I thought he was leaving her.
Yeah,
and you're like, well, this is why people got annoyed by her, because, like, she kept... Dude, I'd be pissed, and I'd be screaming James, too. James! Fucking dude!
Well, it turns out that he's just getting the thing to pull her up before...
Yeah, so he opens the door back. It's like, okay.
And then, of course, this is when they get up on the roof, and then climb down the ladder of the fire truck, and...
Oh, then we have the scene that they replicate in Terminator coming up.
Yep, yeah, but first you have the cops there, trying to arrest him, because...
They think he shot the one guy.
Yeah, and he's like, because he didn't tell her his actual name, so... he tells them like, "Yeah, I'm."
Oh, that's right.
Secret Service,
because he was going by the
Smythe, James Smythe, St. John Smythe, James St. John Smythe.
No, because he fucked that up too at one point, and I was like, God, he's like the worst spy ever. He keeps giving shit away. No, because I was like, it's Sir John Smith. That's what it sounds weird when they say it. It's Sir John Smith or John Smythe. You know, it's like Sir John Smith, but they say it's like Surgeon Smither.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird way they say it. So when you find like she's like John, what is he talking about?
Well, James, yeah.
No, she calls him. She knows him as John, but then he said the James part like.
And that's where you get the famous Bond, James Bond. It's the only time that he says it in that movie is from there.
So,
and then this is where we get, obviously, he pulls the water thing to shoot the police officer, knocks them down. Yeah. And then you get the fire engine chase.
She's driving the fire engine and shit. He's all like swinging out. I swear to God, they do this in Terminator 3. And like, see, you should show just that because you're like jumping back and forth with. Well, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but
I'll probably just do.
You see it does that because it shows him on like a ladder in Terminator, and it just he smacks into like stuff, and you know it's more Terminator-esque because he's a fucking robot. You couldn't do that with James Bond, but they do. They kind of like James Bond's like hitting walls and stuff, kind of like while they're driving. And that was a fucking cool. I'm like it's like if you like 80s cheese and over the top, the chase scenes in this.
Especially with when the cops have the drawbridge go up, they make it over, but the cops don't. And you see the cars just like keep falling backwards and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then the one gets stuck, and he like backs up. You know, he would have been safer if he had let the drawbridge go back down and just kind of push his car like back up. I don't know, maybe it would have crushed his car, I don't know. But it was weird. It was like, it's 80s.
Yeah, then you have the drawbridge actually crushing the one car.
Oh, that's okay, so it was crushing one of the cars at least. Okay, so that's pretty great. But there was the one that was like backing up off and like, just, and instead of like letting it roll backwards, he like literally just guns it back down the, like, just put it neutral and let it go slowly, you jack. Oh, I'm gonna risk people's lives. Like, you got it off, hit the brake, actually just hold it with the brake, and then let the drawbridge come down.
And then then it cuts to Zorin and his pad, technically speaking, his Zeppelin.
No, he's not in that. No, because it's cool how he's in a trailer talking to people at this point.
No. He's in the Zeppelin. They don't do the trailer part until the last.
Oh, okay.
But he's in the first Zeppelin, essentially, the bigger one that looks like a whole thing where he's telling.
It's like a board meeting.
He's explaining to his actual goal is to flood the San Fernando Valley.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's Max Shrek. Because look, okay, Max Shrek. Because
Andreas Fault.
Okay, well, Max Shrek though has the similar fucking thing. He's like, we're gonna do this, and he tells Selena Kyle when Batman Returns because she figures it out. So in true Max Zorin fashion, Max Shrek does this almost the exact same thing that happens to this chick. Or to, he does it to this guy that happens to Selena Kyle.
Yeah, because you're like, ooh, that's a badass thing. And you're like, I love him.
Yeah, because he's just like, oh, look, here, come with me, let's go get a drink.
Yeah, Mayday takes him.
Yeah, and they're like walking down, and he's like, I don't remember, there's no bar this way. So he says something about, like, and next he just opens the door and, like, Spartan kicks the fucker out, basically. It's like, ew.
Oh, yeah, because the stairs go into...
Oh, no, yeah, he just kind of slips and slides out, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. But think about it. He figures out what's going on, doesn't like what's going on, and he explains to them, he's like, yeah, well, this is what's going on. It's going to happen regardless. He throws him out of something. See, it is Max Shrek, man. He goes on and does it to Selena Kyle. Because Bruce Wayne's never been to, or James Bond has never been to Gotham City, right?
Right.
Because he wouldn't have to. Because Batman would have been like to MI6, like, hey, don't send that British asshole here. I got this.
Yeah, so we figured out the true thing. It wasn't about the horses, steroids. It was mainly about him controlling all the microchips and stuff like that for the world.
Yeah, which is again used kind of in because essentially he's going to control people basically with like, he's figured out how to like do crazy shit with these microchips, and it's kind of like in the Kingsman, they do the same thing. Samuel L. Jackson's villain character.
Similar. I mean, the thing is, though, it's not really for controlling people. It's for him to be able to control like the technology, so he owns everything literally and knows what people are doing. Another thing about Zorin too that we didn't kind of go into is that he's an ex-KGB agent.
Oh, forgot about that.
He's been experimented on.
That's right.
Him and we assume Mayday because when they're talking to their ex-employee, Mayday just picks the guy up over.
Yeah, she just like gorilla press slams the motherfucker. Like she goes all fucking Andre the Giant. It's just like, huh? And like, fucking these people have like fucking strength out the ass. Like they've either been using the adrenaline stuff or they've been experimented on with it.
That's what it was that they were looking into, the mine that he was buying.
Oh, okay,
where
yeah.
the San Andreas vault thing was.
Yeah.
So at the
because she's the one. She's like, he's gonna cause an earthquake or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then we go to the mine. Like they find out where the mine and stuff is.
I made a fucked up joke about that too because when she like maps it out, she's like, it spreads open like this, and then like from here in this spot, it's gonna flood the thing. I was like, it's kind of fucked up because.
What it looked like?
What it looked like, and I was like, if you generally, if you cause any sort of irritation in that spot, it gets wet. It's like, it's kind of a fucking, it was like, dude, you're being obvious with what you're like tracing with your fingers there, lady.
So, we find that out. Zorin sets a few bombs to go. He actually blows up the one part of it to where it starts to flood, and then you see the guy fishing in the boat in the lake.
I was like, it'd be perfect to cut in the scene, like, with all the fucking fish floating up from Crocodile Dundee. Like,
so the lake floods into the cavern after they have everything set up, and you have Max Zorin again. His other henchmen, they both get Uzis.
Yeah, they're riding that rail thing. That slow, like...
Well, they're standing on top high and just shooting everything.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah, like, where you're like, oh, he is straight up just a supervillain. Like, he's Cobra Commander incarnate here. Like, he's sitting here having a blast. Like, and this is where Christopher Walken shines, because Christopher Walken's batshit crazy. He's sitting there, like, with these people are coming down the floodgates, basically, like, through this, first of all, they're bumping off walls in this cave, and he's just like, like, just shooting people with an Uzi as they pass by, like, holy fuck. Like, even Dr. No wasn't doing shit like that.
And then, obviously, he leaves Mayday behind as it's flooding.
Yeah, he leaves Mayday, but then, like, I was like, this is why she should be the bongo, because she helps Bond and her escape. And I'm like, yeah, man. And like, I was like, yeah, she's a fucking badass.
And this is when they're in the, this is when you see Zorin get into his little trailer.
They run into a trailer. Like, like, why did they just run into a portal? Like, it was like one of those portables from high school, you know? Like, okay, that's safe. And then the fucking thing turns into a smaller Zeppelin. Like, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Zorin's probably the smartest villain Bond's had, actually, because, like, he knows that Bond will have to stop to do things, well, like...
Yeah, because then Bond and Mayday get the other bomb before it explodes. Mayday, unfortunately, this is where Mayday actually perishes, because she has to hold the brake so it doesn't stop. So Bond pushes, it falls, and she just keeps going. And then she looks up and with a big smile to Max Zorin, like,
yeah, be like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. And boom.
And I think she's probably the coolest character in this movie. I wish there was like more. They should have taken her and made like a prequel to that story with her.
Right.
I think that would have been cool.
And then this is where you pretty much see, where the that 70s show lady, she gets out, and then Max is coming back around to pretty much kidnap her in the Zeppelin.
Yeah, he literally is like hanging out of the Zeppelin, right? Like,
yeah, then they pull her.
Yeah.
She gets her. Bond grabs onto the rope of the Zeppelin, and this is when they're going off to the near the Golden Gate Bridge. because he's like kind of bumping Bond around.
Okay.
Then you get to the.
But that was cool because they had to build an exact size replica for a soundstage.
We're almost to that exact part, but first I want to talk about the other funny moment that you're like, ooh, is when Bond's on the Zeppelin hanging on the rope for dear life. They go over the an antenna that kind of.
Oh, and he smacks into it. It's like crotch shot. Yeah. It's like, oh, God, dude. Because it was like I said this is where I said this is like I'm pretty sure Roger Moore at this part is he's like, this is the last one. Let's make it fun and let's parody everything. Let's even parody Bond basically because like there's so many things in this I don't think any serious Bond would have done. Like I'm pretty sure this is the Bond that inspired Austin Powers.
That was Catfight.
Pretty sure this is the Bond that inspired Austin Powers. Like this last movie alone, like I feel Michael Myers was like, that's the one. Because the car scene where he's just like ducks, gets up, he's like,
right,
like he has this deer in the headlights. Like they fucking like Roger Moore's reactions, just like I don't give a fuck. Let's just make it exciting and funny. Let's make it different. So it felt really random in the 80s because of that. But yeah, that fucking Zeppelin thing was...
Then we get to the Golden Gate Bridge where they're fighting above it. What did you think about the fight that they did with that?
I thought it was cool, man. I mean, like I said, they had to build... Because they used it, and it sucks because I believe it burned down. They used a studio for like almost every Bond movie up until like the 90s.
Well, they still are using it.
Oh, I thought it burned down.
No, it's they had to relocate it, if I'm not mistaken, because they expanded it, made it.
Well, no, because there was one time
it was the 007 sound stage.
Yeah, but there was one time that it did catch on fire and partially burned down. I think
it might have.
And because it was a big shock, like people were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, but it turns out that it was fine, so they just made it bigger.
But they would have had to have built it there,
right?
And once again, folks, practical effects, like that is like if you're gonna make a movie, it might be a little bit more expensive, but I'll tell you something, like nowadays it's gonna be more expensive, but it'll last longer in the long run. This movie was made in 1985, right? Released 1985? So it was made in like 1983, 84?
Right.
This scene alone like looks so good and well done just by using the old screen. Like, yeah, that there's like screens, but they built an exact replica of just like the archway. Almost of like the Golden Gate Bridge, and they just like this fight scene where they're like wrapping ropes around. Like it's just like, okay, this is cool as shit because it looks like, and you actually feel like, oh my god, he's gonna fall off that, because it looks like the way they did the screen work and everything. Because I know that trick; it's an old trick. They use it for a lot of stuff. They even used it for Charlie Chaplin. The screen's there, and it's kind of a forced perspective, basically. Like you're literally not that far off the ground.
Right.
You're basically 2 feet off the ground. There's a screen, and the screen's projected the exact shot. So somebody had to go out there and get that shot, which is also impressive. They had to get the exact shot of that exact fucking angle off of that set and how it would. So that's going to take mathematics.
Yeah.
But it looked so good because like when Bond like even me, I was like, oh shit. Because like Bond's like falling and it looked so good. Like nowadays, if you do that, you're gonna know it's CGI.
Yeah, of course, Bond and Max are still fighting, and then the professor gives Max the axe.
Oh yeah.
And then the axe.
I thought he grabbed the fire axe and went after Bond. He grabs it himself.
He does. Yeah,
he grabs it himself because he's like, oh shit.
I think he dropped it though, because the professor's out there. He does grab it himself because the professor's just watching it happen.
I was thinking, did the professor try to give him some more of that adrenaline shit?
No, he was trying to give him a dynamite at the time, but the dynamite didn't.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's when he comes out to give him the dynamite.
That's when Bond actually manages to make Max fall.
Yeah, okay.
To his death.
And he kind of throws the dynamite as he's falling or something?
Well, no, he throws... Max doesn't throw the dynamite. The professor's trying to go for the dynamite, but Bond's already got Max thrown down.
Well, no, but he jerked because the blood was tied to the...
Well, Bond sees that he's got the dynamite, tosses the axe. Professor kind of ducks, if I'm not mistaken. Bond hacks off the rope that is holding.
Oh, that's right, because he had tied that rope there to keep it in place.
Yeah, so it doesn't fly away.
So he hacks it off because he sees the dynamite. He sees him falling back.
Yeah,
and then boom, and then he saves the girl who's hanging off the fucking bridge. But I'm like, okay, how long was this one? Because I think it's
the same amount.
Well, because like I will say this is, and I know I said this about the last one. It was really well paced. I mean,
right?
Like for the first half of that one, because then like I said, it got kind of this one's fast paced, man.
2 hours and 11 minutes.
Shit, dude, that felt like an hour and a half tops. Like it was literally like it was an 80s action movie. It was like from start to finish. It was almost just like.
And then you have the Q robot that looks like from Metal Gear.
Well, because Bond disappears.
Yeah,
he's just like fuck. Doesn't even say anything. Just disappears. Then they're like, we've located him. Like. This is like 6 months later or some shit.
Yeah,
it was like a few months later or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't too long after because.
Well, a couple months from like if you're a spy.
Yeah, true.
If you're a spy, you can stay away from your like the government that you work for like 6 months. They start sending they'll send assassins after you at that point.
He's cleaning up some details.
Well, you can't just like give that joke. So this fucking they send in this fucking drone. This is really goofy.
Yeah, Q did.
Fucking man, I miss Q. Q for anybody out there, Q is probably my favorite Bond character of like the entire series, and I like M. Or not M.
Moneypenny.
No, well I like Moneypenny too, but I mean like as far as the inventors, I do like John Cleese.
Okay, R.
Okay, because QR. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, if you're Q, does this make him aw? That was In the World Is Not Enough. Pierce Brosnan said that too.
Oh, okay, and they just go with it?
Yeah. Everyone just goes with it.
They should have just called him Q2 or something like that.
Well, he does become Q after.
Oh, they do? Okay, so they do go.
Yeah,
so, like, that
another day is Q.
John Cleese is cool as Q, and, like I said, I would have thought it would have been funny in the newer ones because they're reboots. Clearly, at this point, we know they're reboots for the most part. It would have been fucking hilarious if Russell Brand was Q. Like, Bond just, like.
I still like the Q they got, though.
It's a hippie. I don't know who it is.
Eventually, he's gonna watch all the Daniel Craig.
Yeah, well, because when the new one comes out, I kind of want to go.
Yeah, I kind of want to show him all the Bond movies, but we'll probably won't review them all. We'll probably
like at this point, I'll watch as many as I can. I think you did get me to that point where like.
Yes, I rubbed off on him that.
Well, no, and it's not you because what did you say about this movie?
You probably wouldn't like it because.
But you said you didn't really like it. You were like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's not his best. It was his last.
It's cheesy. That's why.
But it's so good because it's cheesy, man. Like, that's what, like, the charm is so. It's so different from every other Bond movie that I've seen.
It's like I'm a fan of all Bond movies. That's the thing about me. Even the very bad ones, like.
But all Roger Moore's are cheesy. From like even Matt said that he's like, there's a lot of like
that cheesy. Live and Let Die wasn't that cheesy, but you can see where he kind of takes it onto his own to make it a little.
I want to say like shout out to you too, Matt. I think it was. I want to say he said. Which ones are Roger Moore? And there's this one. He said, I think it was that one. He said was his favorite from Roger Moore was Roger Moore's best. The one you just mentioned.
Well, Live and Let Die.
Yeah.
That's a good one because that takes place in Louisiana.
Oh, well, that's a callback. See, it is a reboot because that's a callback. They do that again in the Skyfall or Spectre because they do the Day of the Dead thing.
That's in Mexico. Mexico City, Mexico. The Day of the Dead.
I know, but it's because they do the same thing, and I remember that because there's that voodoo dude, like he's in the voodoo makeup and stuff.
They're in somebody.
He seems like a bad which ties it to get into Batman. Because that could be Papa Midnight. See? So Constantine's.
I kind of want you to watch Live and Let Die though. That was a good one.
Okay, like I said,
I like all Bonds.
When
Even
we do,
Never Say Never Again.
When we do the back through with the reviews, like I said, you can pick the ones that you feel like I would enjoy the most, or that like are the best of the Bonds.
Right. So this was your favorite
so far.
What would you rate it?
Oh man, I'm giving this a fucking 9. I'm giving this a 9. Like this movie was, dude. If I had found out about this movie before doing this, this would have been something we would have covered on Villainous Cinema because it's that like it. I feel like this is a cult classic in its own right with Bond fans. Like I feel like it's like, and Christopher Walken fans, I'm sure. Like yeah, because he's amazing in this. He's like the best actor in this movie, which is not. I mean, like not in a bad way. Like he's just like. He nails this villain, and this is probably why it stuck so well. Because before this, like for the most part, He wasn't always a bad guy. Like, in the 80s, he started doing the villain thing.
Right.
But, like, before that, he was doing movies where, like, I think it was him and Willem Dafoe and, like, The Deer Hunter.
Right.
Or was it... Yeah, it was him and Willem Dafoe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that movie, he was, like, a good guy, but it was, like, really fucked up movie. And, I don't know. Like, maybe this is what started his villainous. Not, like, they're just, like, everybody afterwards was like, this dude needs to be a fucking villain. Like, all the time.
So you give it a 9?
I give it a 9, man. Not even... It's... Mayday. Mayday was badass. Probably, the coolest henchman in the lot, except for maybe Jaws. Like, she... The fact that she doesn't stand up there. The fact that she doesn't stand up there with Jaws and, I was going to say Random Task. Odd Job. Wait, which one? Actually, which one? The Austin Powers one's Random Task, right?
Yes.
The shoe. So Odd Job is the one with that.
Yes. Odd Job's the one.
So, like, those villains, as far as henchmen, those are, like, the top two. Those are the ones everybody remembers.
Mm-hmm. Well, and... Bushy.
I don't really remember who she is or what she looks like, but she had her own movie, though.
What? No, she didn't.
Pussy Galore.
Yeah, she had her own movie.
She's not an octopus, is she?
Oh.
Honestly, I thought that was... Never mind. So I don't know this much about this stuff. I'm learning. I'm trying to learn. But henchman-wise, though, as far as the badasses that are, like, up there that people, like, know from being badasses, right. The fact that Mayday's not, like, up, because, like, Mayday's... She did most of the work, man. She should have been the supervillain. Well, she should have been the Bond girl, but...
Well, for me, I give this about a 7.5. So if we're doing collectively, we get an 8.2.
Dude, and I said this while we were watching the movie. Like I said, I was like, man,
I'm gonna show him, since we're not doing Never Say Never Again. I'm gonna show him Never Say Never Again, folks.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, because once we go back,
but Never Say Never is not official. I want to just do the official.
That's fine. That'll be the bonus one.
Okay.
God, I feel like you're gonna. I'm gonna feel like I'm not gonna like this one.
Remember, this is a.
You said it was a reboot, a remake. No, it's a remake. It's a remake.
Yeah, remake of Thunderball.
So maybe you should show me Thunderball, and then we'll watch that as like a bonus one.
Okay.
You can put that on like Patreon. You know, that could be one of the. Could be one of the things. If they donate some money, they get the bonus episode of us watching that movie. Or are you making me watch the worst Bond movie?
Oh, okay.
No parodies. You can't make me watch Casino Royale. Not the new one, but...
No, Never Say Never Again would probably be the one.
Huh?
Never Say Never Again would probably be the one, because then after that, a lot of people say Diamonds Are Forever, and then A View to a Kill.
I'm going to have to get you to give like the actual history on that, too, because there's a weird story behind that Bond movie, and like... It's kind of strange, but...
Yeah, so... With that, this was A View to a Kill. Next time, we're doing The Living Daylights. Yes.
By the way, we did forget to mention that at this point in time, like this was his last movie, but Roger Moore was pushing 60 in this movie.
Yes.
That's impressive, because he was still doing some of his own stunts, like you could see him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see where it's like, like you did.
Yeah, it's both, but you can tell that's definitely both people are doing stunts.
I will. Okay, so like as a Bond movie, I'll give this a 9. This is up there for me. Like this is, I don't know, I fucking enjoyed it. The charm was there.
Bond is rubbing off on them, folks. Maybe we'll get them to watch them all.
Well, I feel like this is what led to the idea that they were going to make the Die Hard movie, and I'll tell you why. Because you know who was supposed to be John McClane? He was contractually obligated because there was a movie made before. This was supposed to be a sequel to that movie. There was an actor that was contractually obligated to play this, like to be offered the role at first.
Oh, yeah, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, I feel like this might have set that in motion to where it's like, we had Roger Moore as this older guy that was still kicking ass. Maybe we should make this movie, and then they're like, well, we'll make it this and this, and then, but they still had to get permission from Frank Sinatra.
No, plus it was also based on a book, too.
Well, I know that, but he was in the first one, and that was in his contract for doing the first one, was if they make the Die Hard, well, the movie the book's based off of, which was still Die Hard, if we make this, they have to offer him first grab at it. They did it in mind, they did have in mind to do it, or do him as the actor that was it. And that started about the same time that this would have happened, because it took like 10 years for like Die Hard to actually start production.
Right. Alright, so next time, Living Daylights.
Do you want to give like a synopsis of what that's about real quick, or do you?
Starring Timothy Dalton as Bond. This is his first James Bond outing. And then his next one is License to Kill. Not really so much of a synopsis because we pretty much do that with the reviews.
Okay, well, I mean, why were you excited that this is getting picked?
Well, because I wanted to see if you know the band.
It's just the opening theme. Great. So this movie could be garbage, and you just want me to see it because of the opening theme.
No, I enjoy it. I mean, you remember the guy from GoldenEye that Bond meets with the hat, who's next to the VW Bug that's fixing it, the American.
It's been a long time. It's not
at the end. He's the guy who brings the army for Bond.
That's not supposed to be the same guy from? Because it was supposed to be his best friend. The guy from the fucking...
No, it's not Felix.
Okay.
No, it's just another one that he met. I forget the name in GoldenEye. But he's in The Living Daylights.
Like, as the same character?
No.
That's stupid.
You'll see why.
Well, I get... But it's just weird when they do that with movies, man.
But it's pretty cool. I mean, because this is... Yeah, it was pretty cool. I love... I don't know which one, either Living Daylights or License to Kill I like best, but I kind of... like The Living Daylights probably a lot.
No, you said like this wasn't your favorite Bond, right?
No, my favorite Bond is Sean Connery.
I mean, besides
Connery, Brosnan, Craig and Dalton, Moore.
Just gonna throw Lazenby under that fucking bus there, aren't you?
Unfortunately, Lazenby selects. But yeah, I mean, I love Bond. That's why I own them all. I still need to get them all on Blu-ray and digital, but that's beside the point. But yeah, so View to a Kill. Next up, Living Daylights. I've been Playcon. This has been Matty Violence. So we are out, and we're also going to be doing No Time to Die as well, but that's going to be for another time. But like I said, next up, Living Daylights. Then we'll figure out which Brosnan movie we're doing. So, catch y'all later. Final words or no?
I mean, like, other than that, like, you kind of won me over in a little bit. I'm not as big of a fan, but I mean, like,
cool.
I still feel like I would want to like watch the rest of them. You know, to kind of get, because I'm a huge sucker on story, and I know some of the continuity is really well done. So like, I'm kind of like, that's where I'm at.
Still need to read the books too.
I don't think I'm gonna read the book. I got the Witcher series to read, dude.
I know it put a flower.
No, I have the Witcher series to read. I
mean, luckily Bond books are kind of short.
True, they are more like novellas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so with that, see you next time.